It's bigger, it's badder, and it's too much for modern day penguins to try and take on. It's a giant fossil penguin coming from New Zealand. Kumimanu fordyceae joins a whole host of giant penguins that we already know of in the fossil record. But many of these, like Echideptes coming from South America, are from much later and much closer to now, rather than what Kumimanu is from being really close to the extinction that killed off the non-avian dinosaurs. This is because Kumimanu lived about 60 to 55 million years ago, meaning between about 6 and 10 million years after that extinction actually happened. And so that kind of changes up what we thought we knew about some penguin evolution. We knew they were around, and there are other ones, including another one that was found alongside of it, which was named Petrodiptes, and it was about as large as a modern emperor penguin. Meanwhile, Kumimanu was much larger, and the authors don't really give a specific height to it because these fossil penguins don't have quite the same body type as modern ones, but they're able to estimate its weight based on some of the bones that were found, including some parts of the shoulder girdle. They estimate that this penguin would have weighed about 350 pounds, which would make it weigh as much as a silverback gorilla. It was an absolutely massive bird. And again, it came right after that extinction that killed off the non-bird dinosaurs. So there's a lot of suggestions saying that, hey, they really didn't suffer as much as we might have expected because they were able to bounce back very quickly and very successfully. They became massive. Unlike the other larger penguins, like Echideptes I mentioned, it is possible that these penguins were able to get so large simply because of that extinction. Because not only did the non-avian dinosaurs die, but a lot of the marine reptiles, which also got into many southern parts of the oceans, including parts of New Zealand and even Antarctica, it seems like those animals also died out, meaning that suddenly the oceans were pretty empty, especially near more polar regions, which meant things like the birds could suddenly start to capitalize on that environment in a way that other animals couldn't. And this led to them being really successful and in some cases very large. Eventually though, there were other animals that moved back to the water and started to potentially outcompete them. In fact, with these large penguins, we see that they start to decrease in body size right about when the first pinnipeds, so seals, start to reach the area. So they may have been either outcompeting them as far as breeding areas and actually being able to access the water in specific areas that are a little more sheltered, or potentially they were just eating a lot of the fish, and so suddenly the penguins couldn't manage being as large. But again, this fossil was from right after that extinction. So whatever was happening right when they evolved, the conditions were right for them to become very successful. This also, of course, makes it really unfortunate for what's happening to penguins now, because, I mean, they have a 55 to 60 million year old fossil record, and now they're struggling a bit because of what's happening to the oceans today. So with any luck, they'll be able to continue being successful, and who knows, maybe if seals and whales are killed off instead, maybe they will become giant again. But we need to try and keep a lot of those kind of tongue-in-cheek and not really commit to thinking, oh yeah, don't worry about the seals, the penguins will pick up their slack. They live different lives. We want to try and protect everything that's around, and the fossil record shows that, hey, some of those things we're protecting can be pretty different.